48% of people listen to podcasts. It's a new way of blogging. But there are 500 millions of videos. There are 500 millions of blogs, but only less than 1 million of active podcasts. Why are not businesses using this media? What you can do, how you can start your podcast today, even when you're not a born speaker or interviewer, you're brand new, you don't maybe even have a following. What to do to start a podcast like a pro, the best tips, how you can monetize even a new podcast from the one and only Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, I'm going to share with you in this video. Welcome back to another video today about podcasting. How many podcasts are you subscribed to? Do you listen to podcasts? Let me know below in the comments. But before we get into today's tips, how to start a podcast like a pro, best tips from Pat Flynn, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell button to get notified when new videos are out for new videos about online business, how to become the next online star, earn passive income, and complete lifestyle transformation. Those are the topics we discuss on this channel, and today we're talking podcasting. A way how you can actually monetize even brand new podcast and start it as a beginner, someone that may not have previous experience with speaking or interviews, how even you can make your business work using this media. Understand one thing. When you're reading a blog post, how long time are you actually spending on that post? Couple minutes, maybe 3-5 minutes. You're skipping through the text, just looking for the information you came for, right? You're not reading every single word, every single sentence, you're skipping. When you are watching video, it's probably about the same time. You're skipping through the video just for that juicy stuff. If it's educational, you're skipping for the facts that will help you. Maybe listen to some stories, so you actually spend a couple of minutes on a video. When you're on social media, posts, it's seconds. But podcasts, that's completely different. Let me know below in the comments if you're watching podcasts, how long do you actually spend listening to them? Because when you have that population listening to podcasts, usually they actually listen to almost entire episode. They have their favorite speakers, their favorite podcasts. Maybe not every single episode is something they are looking for, but once they actually have that episode in their ear, they are listening. And it's like an event. When you are at an event and you're sitting and you're watching someone speaking on the stage, you're listening to every single word, to every single story. And it's like having that stage for yourself, even when you are brand new. And maybe at the beginning, you have just a small room of 10, 20, 30 people. And that's good because you want to really improve your skills and learn how to do everything for a small group of people. Because when you are brand new, you don't want to have tens of thousands of people in the audience the first time you're speaking on the stage, right? So it's the same experience. And those people are listening. They're listening to the entire speech most of the time. So podcasts are very powerful for you, for branding, for that connection that you want to have with your audience. And it's like that private conversation. So a couple things at the beginning. You don't need to be a professional speaker. You don't need to be a professional interviewer like one of those big podcasters. You don't need huge budget to actually start. You need 3 things. One of the most important things is audio. If you have bad audio, it doesn't matter what you're saying on the podcast, how great information and content you are actually delivering. You need to have good quality. And Pat actually, as a professional, recommended Audio Technica ATR 2100. It's around $70. It depends how the prices are on Amazon, but around $70. And you can have very good mic. That mic records the sound pretty much as any professional podcaster would sound like. So if you start with this, you'll have really good audio, and it's not that big of an investment. You don't need tons of equipment to get a good audio. Then what you need is to record your content, your audio, to some software, some platform. The best ones are GarageBand and Audacity. GarageBand is for Mac. Audacity you can upload to any PC. I actually use that myself. Really easy to learn. Just a couple of things for editing and for uploading, for editing. And all you do afterwards when you actually are done, what you do is you export it to MP3 and you can download it to your podcast host. What you need is actually a host like Podbean or iTunes, where you actually have all the episodes from your podcasts. If you're doing interviews, it's that simple as having a Skype or Zoom, zoom.com, Zoom audio recording, and you can do an interview and actually record both sides and again download it to your software like Audacity or GarageBand, edit it, and put it to your podcast hosts. And that's it. That's all you have to do actually to record your episodes. You can always outsource the editing part, just record the episode and send it to someone, either individual or company, and outsource the editing part. They can be maybe a little bit more used to adding some cool stuff and taking out things that maybe you would leave there, but they already have the touch, what should and shouldn't be inside to have that drive. But that's all on what level and stage you are at, but that's all up to you. So another important thing is the content itself. Of course, it depends on the niche. It can be anything and for any target audience. You can experiment a little bit. What would be better depends on your time, because it does require a little bit time investment into it. But pick your niche as any other branding and who you are actually talking to. If you're researching what you should be doing, it's always what would your ideal customer or client would ask, what are they looking for when you are making the sales, because you want to, if you want to monetize your podcast and you do already have a business, then what you want to do is really answer the questions or doubts and fears that your customers would have through those episodes. You want to answer those questions. Next thing, what you can do, you can always look what other people in your niche are doing, what influencers are talking about, what are the hot topics, what are people searching for. If you have a website, what is the most viewed page maybe. If you are already on YouTube, you can look what videos are the most popular, what are people searching for, or what your channel has the most views on, and you can do episodes on that. And if you still have trouble, there are sites like askthepublic.com that can help you with searching the very high targeted topics. Of course, what's the best thing you can do is always share stories. Share your story, share story of your customers, of your clients, add some testimonials, people from the industry, any type of story, because that's something that your audience can relate to. And third thing is interviewing, very popular with podcasting and maybe with video as well. People get very high authority. They become famous for interviewing other famous people. You start maybe slower with less people, less known names, but you can always, if you're creative, reach for the top. But interviewing are very popular and maybe easy way how to gain the authority fast. When you're interviewing, Pat has great tips as how to make that person really feel comfortable. So they feel they really are at the coffee shop, they're having a coffee with you, they're sitting in front of you, and it's a natural, friendly talk. You want to assure that person to really feel okay to open up and talk with you. So, before you even hit the record, you want them to really feel comfortable with you. And you want to stand out with interviews. Otherwise, anyone can be asking the question. So if you want to stand out among other interviewers, you want to always ask open-ended questions. What you can ask is, tell me about your education and how did that affect what you are doing today? You have to be curious and go deeper. Why did you decide that at that moment? What would you do differently if you had that chance to do it all over again? Tell me why you did that at this moment. Or tell me about a time when, fill in the blank. make sure that you are really curious and go deeper. You want to know more. Why? Why did they make those decisions? With each episode, you should be starting with a hook. Unlike with video, you have a little bit more time, about 1 minute, that you can catch that attention. Am I going to listen to this episode or am I going to try a next one? So tell them what they should listen to. What are they getting? What are they going to find out? Tell them at the beginning, and at the end, again, tell them what they found out. What did you tell them? What did they learn? As with videos, what you can do, you can just take part of an episode, just take it from the middle and put it in the front. So this is exactly what we're gonna cover. Or maybe you can tell a story and at the climax, that the best thing, what has happened, they have to wait in the episode. Something that will catch their attention and they have to listen to hear the ending. Or paint the picture. Imagine you would and paint a picture for them, and this is exactly what they want to see, hear, do. But in order to get it, they have to listen to the episode. Once you have your episode recorded and ready to go, you need to upload it and promote it. Before you start, if it's your brand new podcast, you need to treat it like an event that you want to launch. So you need to let everyone know what's gonna happen before you actually put it on air. And Pat recommends 3 episodes when you're actually launching your podcast, because not everyone is gonna like maybe the one that you have uploaded. It may be a little bit from different angle, different topics, but around the same niche, something that will help that target audience. But 3 episodes, so people can pick based on the topics, or depends on the mood. One can be more storytelling, one can be an interview, something with the tips and how-tos. So people will pick what they will like, but you have to promote it ahead. If you already have a network, if you have an email list, let people know that this is coming out, what is the date, what they're gonna get. Tease them what's coming and really prepare the launch. So when you actually launch it, you have immediate views and downloads and subscribers. If we're talking about cold market, remember one thing, it's also a visual thing. You only have to worry about one visual art, that's your cover photo of your podcast. You don't have to create tons and tons of art for and design for your podcast. It's only that cover photo, but make sure, because when you are creating it, you're doing it on a large scale. It's 3000 times 3000 pixels, so it's pretty big. But you usually listen to it on your mobile device, right? So it's very little. So you want to actually check it like 55 times 55 pixels, very little picture wise. So you can have a look if what you have created is readable, if it's eye-catching. Because when you're scrolling, when you're looking for keywords and scrolling through the podcast, looking maybe for the exact title, how to do something specific, you are actually looking at some visuals. Make sure it's eye-catching and people can actually read, if you have text in it, what's inside. When it comes to promoting, there's of course something as ranking, especially on iTunes. There is a formula that I've learned from Pat, that if you are really going for the rankings, it's pretty much as anything else. So new subscribers, number of downloads, and reviews on those specific episodes, as well as the podcast. When you're uploading your episodes, in that period, the more rankings and reviews, the more subscribers, the more downloads, so people actually can listen to the podcast you have on that episode, on those episodes that you are releasing, the better ranking you will have. That's basically on any social media that you are presenting yourself at. You have the pretty much same formula. There are not very good statistics when it comes to podcasts yet, but since it's becoming very good media, they're really getting better and better each year. What you can do to promote your podcast: Pat recommends forums and groups as the most. If you don't have following, that's definitely something that I would go with. If you already have the following, I would cross promote a lot and use your blog, use your videos, use your current social media presence that you already have to cross promote that content and reuse it. Probably maybe you can use that very short passage from your podcast and really show people the audio, and if you want to listen to the whole episode, where they can find it. Or you can do a small video and the whole episode is again on my podcast. You can use your blog, make a small article about it, and have that episode actually uploaded so people can download it from your blog posts. In those forums and groups, especially Facebook and LinkedIn, where you have access to the group, what you can do, and that's a tip I love from Pat Flynn, is what you can do is really reach out to the members of the group, and it can be any group, any type. It doesn't even have to be in your niche. He was actually giving us an example of military veterans, because his podcast is about smart passive income. What is their number one tips for finding a job or having that income after retiring? And he was reaching out to members, someone that was active in that group, if they want to be actually featured on his podcast. He introduced them to his podcast, and if they want to be featured, what would be their number one recommendation after retiring? What would they do? And people usually answer pretty positive. So he actually records their answers at speakpipe.com. You can have an account there, speakpipe.com. They can send him a voice message and he puts their voice into his podcast. And afterwards, which is amazing strategy, what he does when he creates the entire podcast on that topic, he sends the podcast to those people that were featured. And because they are the star of the podcast, they have been featured, they can share it in those groups, they can share it on their profiles that they have been featured on amazing Pat Flynn's podcast, and he's gaining an audience from that very specific niche. So therefore you have win-win situation. That's very nice hack, and you can really play with this. It's as simple as that. You can have any topic, any question, and you can reach out to any specific target audience and have tailored podcast in your niche on the topics that your audience will be created but for that specific target audience. And it's amazing because they will share it. They are the stars of that podcast. So how to monetize? There are a few things that you can do. You can have sponsorship, but unless you have very big following, lots of downloads per episode, tons of reviews, people are actually listening to you on regular basis, not many brands and companies will probably be interested in a sponsorship. So you do need to have a big following for that one. But what you can do, you can sell products, either yours, have your customers and clients for your own courses and products. You can sell other people's products through affiliate marketing. For that, what's the best practice is actually have very well prepared link, because you need something that is easy to remember, something that is very easy to share through that voice, because remember, people are only listening. So it has to be easy to write it down or to remember it. It has to be short. You can send people to your website where they can find all the episodes and all the links. You can have that link in the description of that episode as well. You can promote events, or you can do Patreon. What that is, a lot of YouTubers actually use it as well. It's a membership site for your fans. You have an exclusive content just for the loyal listeners, and they pay actually monthly basis to be part of that community. For you, that's an income stream. So you have your very loyal tribe that really wants to connect with you on the next level, on that private level, have that exclusive content just for them. All the benefits that you are actually giving out to your fans through membership platform. So that's of course something that you can do as well. And if you're promoting someone else's program, what is highly recommended is actually do an interview with the person who has created that product, with the founder of the product or the company, whatever that you are promoting, because that helps to sell itself. You can really, again, go deep into that why, into that story, because that's what sells. When people hear the story behind it, why someone has created this product, a lot of more people can relate to that story, and stories are what sells. And always remember, never give up. So these were tips how you can create, promote, and monetize your podcast. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. More than happy to answer those for you in another video or in those comments. Let me know, do you listen to podcasts? How many are you subscribed to? What's your favorite one? And how long are you actually listening to it? Anything on that topic below in the comments. If you have one, put a link to your podcast. My podcast, Become Online Star Secrets, is below in the comments as well. And I'm looking forward to talking to you soon.